Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Whitney Van Laningham, and let's talk about the big bads of Stranger Things. Although the Mind-Flayer hasn't physically appeared in Volume 4 yet, both he and Vecna seem to be carrying out the same plan, to take over the right side up and wipe out the inferior human life. Dustin calls Vecna the Mind-Flayer's 5-star general, but why is that the case? Why would this psionic force team up with Vecna instead of simply incorporating him into its hive mind? Well, I've got a theory, and it has to do with the Mind-Flayer's potential true form. But first, let's go over everything we know about the two biggest baddies we've seen throughout the series, Vecna and the Mind-Flayer. Vecna, aka One, aka Henry Creel, is a human-turned-lich, who became disillusioned with the rules and structure imposed on him by society in the human realm. His only desire is to restore balance to the world by wiping out mediocrity, and believes that 11 is powerful enough to help him make that happen. In order to attack his victims, Vecna plugs himself into several tentacles, giving him the ability to infiltrate teenage dreams above from his lair below. He has a deep love and reverence for spiders, and the Mind-Flayer itself even looks like a giant spider, so it's also possible that the Flayer is exploiting this to sway Vecna under its control. Unlike the Mind-Flayer, however, Vecna isn't using anyone on Earth as a proxy or host. He's doing this thing Freddy Krueger boiler room style. The Mind-Flayer is a shadowy psychic being without physical form. Instead, it manipulates lesser beings to do its bidding, including demogorgons, demodogs, and the Flayed. When it evacuated Will's uninhabitable heated body, a dark mist escaped, but became dormant as soon as the psychic connection between Hawkins and the Upside Down severed when El closed the gate. When the gate was reopened by the Russians in Season 3, it began building a physical body to act as a proxy in our world. His psychic abilities alone weren't enough to stop her in the past, so this time he's sending a representative. Speaking through Billy, the Mind-Flayer tells 11 that he built it just for her, and that all of the pain and suffering it cost was all to kill her in the end. He tells her that once she's dead and out of the way, he'll move on to ending her friends, and after that, he'll end everything. This tells me that the Mind-Flayer knows how powerful El is, and that he needs to eliminate her first to make his multiversal conquest easier. I think it's possible that the Mind-Flayer knows about El not only through personal interactions, but through one's memories of her. Practicality and style don't have to be mutually exclusive. Just because you want to keep your feet nice and dry in all kinds of weather doesn't mean you have to wear some monstrous rain boots every day. Vessi's here to keep you looking good while keeping your feet dry. Thanks to Vessi for sponsoring this video. Vessi's are the perfect everyday shoe. They're sustainably made knit sneakers that are 100% waterproof. They're made with this Dymatex material that's super easy to clean with just a rinse of water.
Oh no! I spilled water all over my feetsy weetsies, but my oinky oinkies are bone dry like the Dune Sea. Thanks, Vessi.
If you're experiencing wet or muddy weather right now, Vessi's can help. Slay soggy socks forever! Vessi's are my go-to shoes by my door. Check them out in the link below for a pair of your own Vessi shoes. Click the link below and use New Rockstars to get $25 off your Vessi shoes. It's established that all of these monsters in the Upside Down are connected by a giant hive mind, and that it operates like a virus, spreading quickly and coming back stronger and smarter after each time it's killed. This season, Vecna is opening multiple portals to the Upside Down, and I believe that his goal is to create more gates than 11 could reasonably close, scaling up for an invasion. Dr. Owens adamantly tells 11 that her friends and Hawkins aren't the only ones in danger if the creatures in the Upside Down successfully infiltrate our reality. Life as we know it is over if 11 doesn't hit the Mind-Flayer and Vecna so hard that they can't get back up, as the virus-like nature of this realm and its creatures will surely spread much farther than the county lines of a small town in Indiana. As long as there's a gate open, there's a chance that our world will face a war they couldn't win if they tried, against beings far stronger than any earthly weapons we have. In order to completely take control of the right side up, I think it's possible that we could see the Mind-Flayer and Vecna pull a fusion. And I think that this new villainous creature might be the Elder Brain. As we all know, the Hellfire Club, formerly known as the Party, uses Dungeons & Dragons as a lens with which to view the horrors happening just beneath their feet. People can get hung up on the fact that Stranger Things' Demogorgon isn't anything like D&D's Demogorgon, as if that's a failure in adapting D&D material. It isn't. The language of D&D in the Monster Manual is a shorthand the boys on bikes use to understand this otherworldly chaos spilling into their lives. That said, while these monsters don't necessarily have every single characteristic or quality that their D&D counterparts have, most of their namesakes capture the essence of their abilities and motivations. For example, the Mind-Flayer and Vecna both act as if human life is inferior to them, a trait that these guys have in D&D lore. More importantly, Mind-Flayers are psionic creatures bent on conquering not just the universe, but the multiverse. Something we see throughout the series as the Mind-Flayer tries to add our world to its collection. Despite knowing that not every piece of Dungeons & Dragons lore applies to this specific show, I've always wondered why we've only seen the one Mind-Flayer. Traditionally, Mind-Flayers operate in colonies. Sure, they exist more as a race of drones that share a hive consciousness, while the Duffer Brothers' Mind-Flayer is a hive consciousness. But where does that consciousness originate from? Is it purely untethered psionic energy, or does it have a source? Because everything in the Upside Down is psychically connected, I think it's entirely possible that the vines we see are part of that source, the Mind-Flayer's mostly dormant true physical form, the Elder Brain. In D&D, the central hub of these Mind-Flayer colonies is a being called the Elder Brain, a massive brain that acts as a sort of queen bee to the Mind-Flayer's hive mind. It holds intense psychic power, but is relatively vulnerable to physical attacks that get past all of its psychic defenses. Mind-Flayers within the colony speak with the Elder Brain telepathically and follow its orders, and on rare occasions, a Mind-Flayer can perform a ritual to become an Elder Brain. Now, I've always wondered what, if anything, those vines in the Upside Down are physically connected to. The spider monster that the Mind-Flayer created out of melted down people pieces also had these tentacles, which plugged themselves into Billy at the end of the battle like he was the only phone charging station at a music festival. This season, Vecna seems to use them as actual power cables. When he connects to the vines in his Upside Down lair, he's able to boost his psychic connection to his victims on the other side, which he's not able to do if he isn't hooked up. I think that these tentacles could be attached to the Upside Down's Elder Brain, bestowing Vecna with stronger powers so that Mind-Flayers can clear a path for destruction. Not only do images of the brain from the monster manual I cuddle up with every night feature images that show similar looking tentacles protruding from it, it would make sense that these vines give Vecna and the Mind-Flayer the ability to contact and possess their victims. The Elder Brain itself is the Mind-Flayer's core in the Upside Down, and to conquer our realm, it may need another brain for our world, a hub for psychic connection that won't be severed by future portals closing. We know that Vecna has been incorporating his victim's psyche into his own, suggesting that he himself is building a sort of hive consciousness, sort of like a baby Mind-Flayer. So, like the Mind-Flayers that become Elder Brains in D&D lore, Vecna is the perfect candidate for a potential Elder Brain node in the right side up. This might be why Vecna hasn't been incorporated within the Mind-Flayer's hive mind yet, because it might need to reinforce Vecna's psyche with the minds of others, strengthening it in order to build an organic connection to our world that won't burn out if all the portals close. I don't know how all the kids are gonna solve it if this is the case, but that's not my problem. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Whitney Puppy, follow New Rockstars, subscribe to New Rockstars for more analysis of everything you love, and thanks for watching. Bye!